All right. All right. A good Sunday morning. You got to get that good drum roll going on in the church, y'all, right? I wonder whether or not it sounds more like a drum roll, right? Or a drum beat or a club beat. Which one is it, right? Get that good clap. Yay! Yeah, so welcome in, y'all. Us, the 600 plus, man. Listen to this podcast here and believe that there are many ideas that have a different view, right? Y'all welcome in, family. How y'all doing out there? I hope y'all are having a restful weekend, right? Powerful Sunday morning. Hope you are enjoying that which is this good earth that has been given by a good gracious creator and God above us all. Although we like to do a lot of scapegoating, right? I hope y'all are enjoying this morning, right? Today's topic, we're going to get into some things here that dealing, I don't know if you really want to put a word on it, maybe levels of honesty, integrity, right? We could talk about that. Real quick, just to give some continuity to this, as we hit a few topics here. Don't going to hold you long today, but we're going to talk a little bit. Just to mention here, we're going to push this in here. A couple days ago, actually 2 days ago, was International World's Indigenous Peoples Day. Your boy did not get a chance to get on and talk about it, but I think at this point, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't start putting the two and two together about the peoples who lived on these lands and their descendants thereof, and when by lands, I'm talking North American, the American continent, let me just say it that way, it's a conglomeration of whether it's the islands or the land masses that, Mr. Vespucci came over here talking about America, right? So the American lands, European, or as we say, as you look at that landmass over on that part of the world, right? Our eastern part of the world, as we say, Euro-Asia, okay? When you look into the Philippines and those islands, our island folk, right? Our island brothers and sisters, right? East and West Indies, that landmass of the world, as Moana 2 is going to come out soon. Can't wait to see that. It's real good that Disney is see again, ladies and gentlemen, profit is everybody. You get profit when you put everybody in the game, not when you start excluding, okay? I understand that massa, as we say on this podcast, has y'all the proverbial massa now. So it's not just a plantation owner anymore. Right? It's now a mindset that is in people. This is no different than what y'all watch in movies and stuff like that. You've got the one person, right? Let's take the Avengers, for example. You go into Captain America Civil War, doing everything that's going on as the team is breaking up because, again, people cannot do things together. They just, for some odd reason, we got to default. Okay, we're just taking this little time to talk about indigenous folks. We got to put that to bed, y'all. We a team. It's like husband and wife, y'all a team. Parents and kids, y'all are a team. Or youth and older, y'all are a team. I should say it that way, right? We got to understand some things, okay? We got to get a hold of some truths and renew our mind on some stuff that our parents taught us that was corrupted. It was poisoned by racism, by sexism, so on and so forth, right? That's just the truth. So, no, shout out to the indigenous peoples of this planet, right? You've heard me mention on this podcast about the Taínos, right? Again, of which there's a people group there in the island of Puerto Rico, right? Shout out to our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters one time, right? We already know about the native tribes and the recognized and unrecognized tribes. We've talked about that on this podcast, right? This goes over into our dear, as we are called, which I say on this podcast because this is very apropos, the classification that Europeans gave to not only their own people by calling them white, but the same thing to the darker skinned folks by so calling them black. That's why I say so-called, because you missed it. You didn't get all the people groups right, but you didn't care about that anyway because it was about taking over Africa. It was about making a workforce here in the Americas, right? So you didn't have to do any work. And you could make free labor off of somebody else. You could make, free money off of somebody else's labor, right? That's the point. That's what the Civil War was all about. Until we get over this stuff, y'all, we aren't going nowhere. Had a conversation with a brother on the social medias, which is cool to hear from this person. Hadn't heard from him in a while. Okay. This idea of the differences we got, y'all, we got to get over it. See, unfortunately, because of the greed that trapped the heart and the and those who bowed their knee, kind of Anakin Skywalker to Emperor Palpatine, you know, from a Star Wars us Star Wars heads out there, right? I do what you want, master. Yeah, so that whole idea, okay, did not work well in the history of humans when you look at it, right? Human history shows that thing don't work well. We got to band together, y'all. This isn't about takeover. It's about recognizing our differences and recognizing that those differences unite us, not divide us. You keep looking toward the division part, and we gonna fall every time. And needless death occurs and suffering. So let's see. Where are we at here? There's a few minutes there on the open. So yeah, Indigenous Peoples Day. So let's just go on in. Let's just go on in here, and we will transition here and talk about the Olympics for a second. Oh, what a powerful scene that was, right, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to start off with our dear sister Jordan Childs one moment, and then we'll go on from there. One, shout out to your sis, right? If you're hearing this. If you do hear this, if a friend of yours, whatever, right? If it gets to you, shout out to your sis. You put in that work, right? We're talking about you put in that work. And of course, there was a powerful scene between Brazil and America where, see, the young people are getting it. The older ones are slow. Like the women get it, but the men are slow. Hey, if we are, see, as a family, you got to talk about it, right? This is why the conversation quality around the Thanksgiving table as we march closer to November is going to be very poor because people are stubborn in their mind. See, again, the Bible talks about this idea, which we get to introduce this now into the podcast, right? Because of the hardness of people's hearts is the reason why you have certain things in this life. Now, again, Jesus mentions one, which we'll talk about when we get into next year's Valentine's Day family time, right? Love in the air, right? Hardness in the mind and in the heart, which is why you have the problems you have. This goes for education. This goes for physical activity. This goes for finance. It doesn't matter what it is. We got to understand here. We got to stop, y'all. We got to switch it up. So Jordan Childs, man, one is a floor exercise. Let me just pull up the article here that you can find on CNN. The headline reads, American gymnast Jordan Childs stripped of Olympic bronze medal. Now, this came after Simone Biles had won second. And the dear sister from Brazil, I want to say, let me get a name right. There's going to be a couple of mentions here that I got to mention on purpose, because we want to do right, y'all. We want to do right by people. Let's just see here. Let us see here. And this is not to take away from the other competitors, but we're just talking about what's going on, y'all. Okay. All you have to do is do a little bit of study into the controversies in the Olympic Games. You got to understand where it's coming from, where it started, and what was going on in the minds of people to get a true background of what's going on. You're talking about Greece. We're talking about Rome. We're talking about places where they were superior and everybody else was inferior, right? You got to get that part down. That then is the foundation. Now, I understand what everyone else is telling you. Again, you're learning it from Massa. Okay. But this idea here where fair is not really fair, it's kind of fair, normally slighted toward one group. Many times with the Olympics, it's dealing in a lot of world play, if you will. World history is involved. So when you go back and you look 100 years prior into 1924, when the last time that it was in Paris, France, from what I can see as far as the Summer Olympics goes, you have this, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Olympic, what you ask your phone or your computer is Olympic controversies, right? Or controversy. Now, thankfully for various different groups here, they allow you to look through history, right? And see everything literally from 1904 all the way through till today. Now, what we had mentioned was the 24 Olympics, the 1924 Olympics. Germany was invited. Germany was not invited, which you could kind of understand, right? Because, World War I, of course, coming even closer toward World War II, Germany was a hot town, not a hot town. I guess if you want to make it, as far as nations, calling them towns instead of nations or countries, right? So the country of Germany was the hotbed right back then, right? Human takeover, how this thing is supposed to work, all that kind of thing. So they didn't allow him there. Now, when you go further into this, you start to see different things. By the time 36 hits, Berlin, Germany is now the home for the Summer Olympics. And of course, your boy Adolf Hitler's there at the opening ceremony, right? See, again, human history bleeds over. For us who think sports and history are separate, like you sit down at you're in your couch or in your lazy boy chair and you got that soda, beer, water, sparkling water. I don't know what you're drinking, right? Whatever we're drinking at the time that we watch these games, do not think that they're separate from life. They're not. They're happening inside of life. So you're going to see life events at sporting events. Y'all got to get ready, right? We got to get ready as a family, y'all. It don't stop because somebody is doing a triple Lutz on the ice. Don't mean that life stops, right? You catch that one-handed touchdown, right? Since I'm a Cowboys fan, we'll shout out to the Giants fans one time, right? Give credit to where credit's due. Because you have a wide receiver catch one-handed over a Cowboy defender. That don't mean life stops, right? So, we like to do a lot of DID, separation, all that kind of thing. Shout out to your boy Moon Knight, of which I really got an introduction into that mental disorder, if you will, of DID, multiple personalities, all that kind of thing. Moon Knight will be back, y'all. We got the confirmation on that with the D23 Expo. Whole lot of good stuff going on. Your boy Punisher is coming back in Daredevil. For those who thought that John Bernthal was not coming back, it's been confirmed. Mr. I take the gun and do what I got to do will be back. So that's going to be fun for some folks to see, right? Shout out to the Punisher one time, right? So the Olympics is full of this mess, okay? Fast forward till today, literally, I think, because it just happened a couple hours ago, where the IOC stripped Jordan Childs of this bronze medal. Her coaches, now she had a difficult, as far as levels of difficulty. Her routine was it was on a floor exercise. It was more difficult. Judges admit that it was more difficult than the girl from Romania. Let me see if I can find her name. Anna Barbosu. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. She is from Romania. And so, yeah, there was a 0.1 point that was given to Jordan Childs as a result that was missed. But The inquisition for it was done 1 minute and 4 seconds is what's on record. 4 seconds too late, y'all. Now, I know for those who hold behind legality, and again, you can go and look at different times. I haven't read all of the different controversies throughout the Olympics. It's a long time, right? For time's sake, we'll give some folks some homework to look at to what goes on in the Olympics. And this is just the summer. We ain't even looking at the winter ones, right? We'll get to winter as soon as that comes up. Matter of fact, I just don't know. So let's see. When is the next Winter Olympics? So some of y'all might know. Some of you may not. 2026. So we don't have that long to wait. Looks like the location is San Siro. So it looks like we're going to be going to Italy, y'all. Looks like it. So that'll be February 6th through the 22nd in 2026. That's what it looks like. So 2028, just as a little update, as we come to the close, I think today is the last day, or maybe tomorrow will be something like that. The next time we see the Summer Olympics, it'll be on U.S. soil. It'll be in LA. So y'all get ready, because the show is coming. You know, if Barnum Bailey Circus was a show on Earth, man, this Olympics thing, it's got a lot of drama. It's got a lot of national pride involved. Again, you can understand that as far as the world is concerned, right? So, too late. Coaches were too late. So they gave the award to the Romanian girl, Anna, right? So it is what it is, or Anna. Right. So it is what it is. Understand that the scene that we all saw where they're all bowing down in solidarity. So Simone Biles, Jordan Childs, and the girl who won from Brazil are all bowing down to each other, right? Showing respect and all that type of thing. So now that scene is now changed now because that was taken away from her. Of course, Miss Childs is staying away from social media, as you need to do for your mental health. I know folks like to get on Simone Biles because she walked off the gymnastic floor last time the Olympics were held, but I think by now, right, she kind of proved her point. I know Massa got us trained real well. You got to stay in there sick, not sick. Yeah, that's for their benefit, not yours. Right? We need to start thinking more for ourselves, y'all. I'm sorry. So, shout out to the men and women who've been doing their thing. That includes Sha'Carri Richardson. And this whole idea about whether you can be high or what levels there were or what regulation is in the IOC for if you can and can't have certain levels of THC on you. Again, maybe the world needs to be a little bit more higher and maybe we would be less jerks to each other, right? We'd be less jackasses to each other. Yeah, it's a Sunday message, but we talking plain to y'all today, right? We got to stop. Okay. So there's that. And of course, our dear so-called black brothers and sisters have been in the forefront talking about the achievements here, which again, the U.S. has been very horrible on giving its proper due when it comes to the darker skin tones. Guys, we got to, again, family, we got to talk about it. If we don't, it's not going to go nowhere, right? The problems we're in is because we have not given credit to the darker skin tones for the accomplishments they have done, whether it be through video game making, the internet, right? Traffic lights, microphones, refrigerated trucks. This is Black Business Month, ain't it, y'all? We talked about that. We got to start giving credit to where credit's due if we're all going to profit properly. So, Steph Curry, Steph the chef, talking about credit where credit is due. I know everybody is enthralled with this LeBron James. Lord, folks, it's LeBron. It's LeBron. But people, for some odd reason, right? Now, again, for me, I'm older, right? We're going to, hopefully, Lord willing, we get to talk about, we'll continue this topic about the generations, because the mindset of the 40s and the 40-year-old and the 50-year-old was shaped by those who lived 20 to 30 plus years before them. And you go backwards in time, that means the 1980 and 1990 baby had to learn from the 70, 60, 50, right? And then the 70, 60 learned from the 50, 40-year-old, right? So on and so forth. Or dare I say your parents were from the 40s, 50s. Like, for instance, my mother was born in 44, right? Guys and gals, you got to understand, understand the climate, man. Jim Crow, don't you think that was going to affect the psyche of how you raised your kids? And God bless our dear so-called black brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers who are able to raise their kids under that mess. Horrible way of raising your children. But guess what? Because humans don't change, guess what y'all have to now raise your babies through? Bulletproof glass and metal detectors in your convenience stores and in your schools because of the impropriety used on gun control. Again, we're just talking about where to give credit to where credit is due and the responsibility in doing so, y'all. That's just what we're talking about right now. Tying this in with the Olympics here. Steph, the chef, y'all, did his thing yesterday. He won the gold medal for Team USA. He shut the door. Because again, like in the NBA, it's hard to guard this man. Now, do I as an old school basketball player think of levels of D? This is just, I know all the family is not into sports, but we're just going to take a second and talk to the sport ones for a minute, right? Understand that this has got to be some credit given to this man. Because them shots he hit yesterday, y'all can see him online. Them shots he hit yesterday was wild. But again, we've been watching this in the NBA now for some time. He has been in the league for 15 years, y'all. 2009 is when he popped on the scene. Another thing you can look online. This man has been doing it. It's almost, I don't know. It's still in awe. We're still in awe as we watch it. But it's almost commonplace for Steph Curry at this point. So. He put Team France to sleep. Okay. As he showed that gesture on TV that we all watched yesterday. So, road safety, real quick. We're going to get into that. Guys, we got a show with family. I understand you got your big pickup truck, you got your stuff out there, but when there's storms out here, we're getting closer to that time where Mother Nature gonna ramp up on different parts of the nation here. Listen, Massa got you going to that plantation. We understand. Got you in that office cubicle, got you in that big old box, right? We get that. However, listen, stay home. You've got your cities and towns trying to clear off roads when it snows and all this kind of stuff. Stay out of the way. Let them do their job. Right. I understand the man need to be making his money. That's the time for y'all to use whatever. See, again, because we don't stand up for ourselves as workers, family, because we don't. PTO went out the window. Certain perks that we had back in the day, that your parents had back in the day, went bye-bye. Do you know why? Not because they got more than we do, because we did not stand up together. Again, the strong man comes in your house when you have not set yourself up to defend yourself against the strong man, not because the strong man's stronger than you. Okay? That's a Bible verse that you all can read about the strong man. And that rings true today. So slow down on the road. Stay off the roads when it's crazy. You still see people bumper to bumper on folks in these scenarios where the distance to stop needs to be greater, right? This is DMV 101. This is physics 101. I guess that part of science went out the window. And as we always say on this podcast, to each their own. However, what are we going to do? Cause more accidents so the insurance company can make more money off you? That would, never mind. Never. Again, only way you can be duped by that is buying into Massa. So that's just be safe. Look out for each other on the road, y'all. We're going to get into James here. James chapter 1, because we had mentioned last time when we were talking, I know we still got Corinthians on the table here. But the last time that we had talked about God being liberal. Right? Giving. Now, again, it's not liberal the way people are using this mess from a governmental standpoint. We're talking about the actual definition of the word liberal. See, what they use as liberal now has been taken out of context. Same thing as conservative. That's why both those words are misnomers. But they got y'all doing a good dance. So keep on going with it because you're making money for them. And again, that's a message to both conservative and liberal, or vice versa. Okay. In James chapter 1, you get this idea where you can ask of God and God will give to you liberally. This is James 1. And we're just paraphrasing for time's sake here. But again, this is something that y'all can read. I'm reading from the King James Version. This is 27 verses, so we're definitely going to paraphrase for time's sake, right? So again, you can, if you need help, you can ask. Now, understand that if God made humans, that also means you should be able to ask the humans because we're made in the likeness of, right? But unfortunately, somebody missed the message. And life pays the price because we keep trying to hoard up stuff like we're little, who are them little creatures in Lord of the Rings? What are they? Not the elves. The dwarves. Yeah, we're trying to hoard up the stuff like dwarves. Rings of Power will be coming out soon, the second season of that. That's going to be nice to see how Sauron continues his deception and enslaving Middle Earth, but I digress. What about the visual and that mental? That's a story for time forever. So so you can ask. You make sure that as you believe in what you're asking for. See, I don't think we really do. See, this is a question that you normally hear in the black community. Do y'all really want to be free? Do you like staying under the knuckle of massa? Is that what it is? Like has our self-esteem been so broken? This happens in domestic abuse, where one can't leave the other because you've been abused so much you feel you need the other. Let it go. Let the boldness in this idea set you free. You don't need them. They're tearing your family apart, not putting them together. You don't need them, right? But I digress. A double-minded person. This is now again the word man is we don't already establish that, right? So a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. Do you get one-minded about it? See, again, do you want to be free? And that thought is for not just for the black community, that's for people in general. Do y'all want to be free? Do you want to stay like this? Some people do. Got to be careful. This is the idea of come out from among them and be separate. Some people are okay like this. That's not going to help you. That might help them. That's not going to help you, right? It's nothing against them. This is why when you have conversations with people, we don't have to argue. We don't have to berate people. That's silly. That's low class, y'all. If you want to talk about class and civil and all this, we don't have to go there. Speaking on that kind of idea, integrity, because we're gonna tie this together with this word integrity. That was something that we wanted to talk about. Now again, this is from Cambridge. I don't know why they put honesty there, but again, integrity, right? The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. Now, take out the refuse to change part, because unfortunately, as integrity goes, we need to understand that you need to be a part of integrity that has strong moral principle is the ability to change when necessary. This is where this idea of conservative and liberal as it is currently used is wrong, because we're away from the definition of what it really is. And it's more on it's not a political, it's more on a governmental play, so that bodies of governmental authority can take money and resources from you. You got to use and twist holy notions, as we say on this podcast. But this part of it is for real. The quality of being honest. And take a few seconds here just to look up that word honest. Now, the Bible talks about honesty and dealing honestly in business affairs, but people don't know that because y'all done sucked down masses doctrine. And maybe we will get into, let me leave a little note here to talk about honesty next time we talk, y'all. All right. Because that is an important topic if we are going to get a hold of how to live, y'all. Because I think we've forgotten. We've put away and we've forgotten. And it's time to remember. So, honest definition. Free of deceit or untruthfulness. That's as an adjective. As an adverb or describing an action used to persuade someone of the truth of something. In a sentence, I like it when you get there. Honest. Like, honestly, I like it when you get there. So you're describing that person's action, the wholeness of what you're saying. Like, I'm being honest about it. There's no deception there, right? Free of deceit. When you look up, this is just a ladder going upwards or downwards, whichever way you want to look at it. The action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. Where have we seen that, y'all? Like giving credit to, again, another one of these words used to describe the darker skin tone folks on the planet. And of course, also the mid-tone is Negro. That's why we brought up this idea of that black doll experiment. There's also one out there y'all can look up. We'll just introduce it now. It's the first time I've really talked about it. It's the 1-drop black blood rule. A silly rule that was brought out, excuse me, a long time ago to say who is and who ain't for the stuff. So if you have this much of this, and this is the game that comes up with ancestry now and looking up things, because again, we're on the chase now to make sure we're not being used, which you are. But again, this is what we're doing now with Ancestry and 23andMe, all those types of things, right? Again, y'all find out who you are because it ain't just Murica. Okay? There's more truth to that. So, back on integrity. So this level of honesty has got to be involved here. And that is the driving thing with honesty. When you look at integrity as a noun here, firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values. This is why when we talk about certain things with Christianity, it's all well and good, the law passed down from the words of God, etc., etc. But you've got to understand that the thing is for the society you live in, and a strict adherence to something where there is necessity to change will leave you in the dust. It's why the Bible tells you the traditions of men make God's words non-effective. Why? Because God's words are always changing to whoever the human is on the planet. Because God is to whoever the human is on the planet, right? And we miss that, y'all. And unimpaired condition. They have the word soundness here as a thing here. So again, speaking in the terms of the Sunday message here that we're doing, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind, as we're at 33 minutes here. And yes, we are wrapping up right now. The quality or state of being complete or undivided. Again, these things I'm reading from right now are from Merriam-Webster's dictionary that you can look online. Being complete and undivided. Interesting. So what is it saying in James as we segue back into finishing this, that a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways? We got to get integrity back, y'all. Do you believe that all people should be recognized, or do you not? Do you believe that they all have a seat at the table, or do you not? And I think it is clear today we can tell who do and who don't, right? So again, it kind of gets down into this whole idea that I wanted to bring out. You go all the way down to verse 22 and to 24. Be ye doers of the word, or the words you hear. Right? Again, we said the word, right? The way Christians played that out a little bit. A powerful thought, but we done played it out a little bit, right? If you are not a doer of what you're hearing and you're a hearer only, you deceive yourself. That's another way of saying this verse. Of course, you are specifically talking about the word of God. But again, when you talk about truth, when truth comes to y'all, when it comes to us all, if we don't do it and we're just listening to it, you're deceiving yourself. When you know it's for you, right? Verse 23, if any be a hearer of the word or of truth and not a doer of it, it's like a person looking at themselves in a mirror. Now it says, as a man beholding his natural face in the glass. Again, you looking at you in the mirror. You looking at you in the mirror. Get this mental image in your mind, y'all, as we close out right now. You're looking at you, right? Then check out verse 24. For he beholdeth himself. So as you're looking at you, then you go, so you look at you at the mirror and then you leave. Okay, I'm looking at me. Yeah, the hair is nice. I need to shave that down there. And then kind of depend, especially if you got that full view mirror. Ladies know what I'm talking about, right? Guys don't really do this as much. Maybe you flex the biceps a little bit, but ladies look all through the body, right? Because again, we are beautiful head to toe, but I digress, right? So now you look, right? And you look, okay, well, no, maybe that's a little out of place. Now I could go with it. We can do that, right? So now with this verse and then you go on, right? So you go on straightway and you forget what you look like. You forgot what you look like. Ain't that the truth today, y'all? We done forgot. Verse 25, and this is where we'll end. But whoever looks into the perfect law of liberty, again, two verses in this chapter talking about liberality and liberty. You talk to me about, never mind, and continues therein. So there's the mixture of both conservative and liberal right there. You're conserving, looking into liberality. I digress. Being not a forgetful hearer. See, again, you got to do it. Just do it. Just do it, right? Shout out to Shia LaBeouf, man. Just do it. Oh, wow. But a doer of the work, this person, again, they say man, but this person is blessed in their deeds. Ladies and gentlemen, as you hear these words of truth, you talk to your friends, right? All this kinds of stuff. You're hearing all this information. You're seeing the truth of a thing. Do not let it slip by you and you just go on about it. You see mess happening on your job. Don't you let that mess just slip by, because you won't be blessed in doing so. You just feed into the cycle of death and destruction. We got to it's time for integrity, y'all. It's time to be honest. And we ain't perfect. No, we ain't perfect. No, we're not better than nobody. But it's not right what's going on, y'all. It's not right. It's time to stand up and be counted for. Right? So that's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, family, for walking this road with me this morning on this good Sunday morning, right? Thank you very much. We look forward to talking again. Shout out to Spotify for podcasters as we end here, for putting on the platform where your boy and many other people can talk about life and what is going on in this world around us, right? And as always, until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.